everyone, welcome to a movement flow with Jenna. These short sessions are designed to give you a little break with some good feels and good connections in your body each week. So let's get started. We're going to begin with our knees bent, feet flat, seated tall on the mat. Pull your thighs in towards you and sit up as tall as you can. And then feel yourself rounding, compressing your spine as you get into kind of a deep crunch. We're not going to be precious about this shape. We're just going to stretch out the back. Here we're decompressing the spine, lifting up. And as we go back, we're just compressing a little bit in the front. You will feel your abdominals, and that's wonderful, but don't get too detailed about it. Just practice going between these two separate expressions of your spine. Good. One more time, let's come up. And this time we're gonna roll all the way back down to the rib cage, about your bra line. You're gonna bring your right knee in and lower, reach left knee in and lower. You can hold on to the opposite leg if you need to. Left, let's do 4 more. And we sneak attacked you with a little curl of your abdominals, that's okay too. 1. And reach forward, use your hands on the backs of the thighs to come all the way up, nice and tall. This time, reach your right arm overhead and lower, reach your left arm overhead. And you can always walk your feet a little farther forward if you need to. One more time, lift, let's go back again, rolling down for 4, 3, 2, you're in your curl and lift, 8, and down. 7 and down, and just lengthening the back of your neck, feeling the weight of your rib cage and your pelvis against the mat. 3, 2, and 1, reaching forward, coming up. 2, 3, right arm lifts, we go up and down, a little pop of the shoulder there, and just stretch and stretch, rolling back one more time, going down. 2, 3, lifting legs for 8. And you can breathe in or out as needed. If you want a little more support, you can breathe out as your knee comes in. 4 more times, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And guess what? We get to go all the way down to the mat, resting the head. Bring your right leg up to a 90-degree position. Feel that the weight of your back of your body comes into the mat. Bring your left leg up into that 90-degree position, and this is just enough sometimes to hold. We're going to reach the arms up to the sky, and I'd like you to make an impression of your rib cage against your mat. So get as heavy as you can. Let your lungs drop, let your heart drop. We're going to reach the left arm back overhead, trying not to disturb anything, and then come all the way back in. Reach the right arm back overhead. Same objective, come all the way back over your chest. Left arm reaches back and all the way back over your chest, and then the right arm reaches back. And good, let's try with the legs. So a little toe touch of the left and come all the way back. Same thing with the right. The objective is to keep your back heavy against the mat. So the minute you feel that back arching up, then you know you want to drop your weight right against. Think of feeling the wood floor or whatever floor you're using underneath your mat through the weight of your body. 1 more each side. Down and lift. Last one, down and lift. Hug your knees into your chest for a moment. Give yourself a rock from side to side. From here, we're going to bring the legs back up. We're going to flex your feet and take your hands onto the front of your thighs. I'd like you to push your knees into your hands and push your hands into your thighs, and find that little quiver that exists in the belly when you engage between these two pressure points. So as you're pressing in more, you should feel a little bit more quiver. And then the next step, this might be enough, but the next step is to try to curl your tail up off the mat and then lower it down. Now, realistically, it's not going to be a huge movement. It is tiny. It may even be just imaginary at this point in time, but do what you can. As you drop your waist, you press into your knees, press into your hands, curling the tail up. If this feels easy, then you might be moving your knees to make it happen, which is not what we're after here. 2 more times, curling under and releasing. Last one, curling under and releasing. And let's bring the feet all the way down to the mat and arms. Let's go palm up. And from here, we're gonna curl the tail under again like we just did and roll through the spine, pressing the hips up, chest open, throat long, and roll all the way down once again. And as you're going, imagining that you could lay your body out on the mat in a way that feels wider, which I know is not the aesthetic that many of us are really excited to be exploring, but it will help you connect and feel really heavy against the mat for other engagements. So rolling down slowly, breathing as we go, letting there be a release of tension as we go backward and forward. This is the key to try to find both the contraction of our muscles and the engagement, and also the relaxation point. So we're just always working the spectrum. Let's do a couple more here, just rolling up. If you need to go slower, wonderful. If you need to go faster, you can do a few more. Rolling down. Good, we'll do one more time, and we're gonna stay up at the top, reaching all the way through the knees, over the toes. Check in and see if you have weight on the inner edge of your feet, of either foot, and then float your arms up so you're standing into those shoulders. We're gonna take our hands on our hips, and you're gonna think kind of a country line dancer stance here. I don't know how to do that, so whatever that means for you. We're gonna lower the left hip and press the left cheek against the mat. And then you're gonna press it back up into both hands until your hands come level. And then you're gonna lower the right cheek and press that down. And then press it back up until both hands come level. And so we're just rotating through the spine, not doing too much swish. It's a very controlled country line dance. Rolling down or reaching down and pressing up. And just being generally aware that your knees are reaching in the same direction. So they're not windshield wipering so much, so that you really are bringing some good, juicy movement to your lower back, to your pelvis, probably starting to feel some engagement of your backside. We're not mad about it. We're gonna go 4. Breathing, and 3, and 2, and here's the last one. And then roll down nice and long, all the way out through the tailbone. You're gonna flip your fingertips up and press into the crease of your hip and just take a lower back stretch. So let your back arch. It's okay if your shoulders come up. Push your thighs away and press weight into your tail. And sometimes that feels really good on your lower back. If it doesn't feel like much to you, just play around with it until it feels like something more meaningful. And that's always kind of the key. Play around until it feels like something more meaningful. Wonderful, good. All right, so from here, we're gonna let that pelvis rest again. And from here, we're gonna bend your elbows so that your backs of your arms are connected into the mat. Walk your feet together and then extend your right leg up as high as you can. We're just gonna lower with a flex to hover and lift with a point to the ceiling. And we're pressing through the upper body as kind of almost a forklift situation, meaning that your upper body is really stable and still almost. So the key with stability is that we allow for variations, we allow for a little movement to happen, but we also have some level of control over our body. So as I push into my upper arms, it reminds my pelvis to stay stable. I push into my supporting foot. And meanwhile, I'm stretching and working the weight of my leg. And we're gonna go for 4, and 3, and 2, good, and 1, and up. Good, from here, go ahead and lower that leg all the way down. And then we're gonna climb up onto the elbows like so. And you're going to bring your leg that you just worked up to meet the other one, and then turn it out. So let your heel move towards your midline, turn it back in, turn it out, turn it back in. Now your goal here is to not slump down as you're doing it. Turn it out. If you need it to be a little lower, you can go here. 2, and last one. Keep it turned out. You're gonna draw 1/2 of a rainbow down to the ground, to the outside, and then bring that leg back up and kiss the inner thighs back together. So you open and close, and open and close, staying lifted out of those shoulders. It's so easy to get really pedestrian with it. Make it into something that feels supportive for you. 3 and 2, good, and 1. Now you're gonna bring it up and cross your knee over your other knee. Slide your arms out, come back down, and take a really nice twist here. Let your knees go over to the side, chest stays on the ceiling, and think of really looking and searching for a little more motion in that direction. So maybe there's a few little pulsing actions, not bouncing, but just seeing, is there a little more? Is there a little more? Is there a little more? There's always a little more, right? 4, 3, 2, sink your belly to come all the way back to center. Let's extend the leg and bring it back down and find our forklift and find our other leg, and we're flexing and lift. Down and up, down and up, and just find that rhythm. It's helpful to think about the crease at the back of the underarm pressing into the ground. Get a little tricep work, a little upper back work, no neck work here. Good. For 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and good. Lower it all the way down to the ground. Prop yourself up on your elbows. Get up out of those shoulders. Lift up knee to knee. Turn the leg out. Turn it back in. Turn it out. Turn it in. Now, I'm a former dancer, current dancer, depending on who you ask. So I really, truly just point my foot by default. Do whatever makes sense to you. If it's cramping, turn it out. If it needs to be a halfway pointer flex, do that. 2 and 1. Keep it turned out. Now we're going to draw that half circle down. Oh, can we get there? A little tighter on that side and up and down. Maybe the circle gets a little smaller. And down and up. And down and up. And we have 4 and 3, reminding those shoulder blades to snuggle down on the back. And 1, bring it up and cross it over and slide it out and twist to the opposite side. And little pulses going. 8 and 7, 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That feels good. Come on all the way up. We're gonna extend the leg, bring the knees together, and then just let the knees drop towards me and bring yourself up into a side sit position. We're gonna take a little stretch for the lower part of the back that seems kind of like it might not stretch the lower part of the back, but it does. We're gonna bring your opposite hand to knee. So I've got my right hand on my left knee. You make it make sense to you, and then you're gonna twist to face the back. As we twist to face the back, press down through your back arm so you're really coming up in a long line. For many of you, you're gonna feel that stretch right on the side body. And then to complete the stretch, look forward. It's a very Cleopatra moment, but man, it feels great, especially for all the sitting that we might be doing, or the sitting to standing, or the walks that suddenly have gotten more frequent in our lives right now. Good. We're gonna come back around to the front. See if you can maintain that sense of length on your side. Take hold of your ankle and then just take a nice long stretch up and over. It's like ice cream. Sweet, melty side body. Good. We'll come all the way back up and we'll switch around to the other side. So you bring your opposite hand to your opposite knee. You're gonna find your spinal rotation, twisting around to the back, seeing if you can find a similar lengthening stretch, looking over your front shoulder. It's a very intimidating look for anybody who walks in the room. You say, I'm practicing movement now. Whatever you need to do. Good. Finding a little more length and then swooping that hand over to the ankle, bringing it all the way up and over. And again, ice cream moment. Sweet, melty, good stretches. A whole series of ice cream stretches that we'll share with you in the weeks to come. Beautiful. Let's come on to hands and knees to finish up. From here, we're going to round the spine and extend the spine. Big stretch here of the belly. And again, round, look right into your belly button. And extend And reach. Come back to center. Feel your back long and your lower belly lifting up to snuggle into the lower back. We're going to tuck our toes underneath and push the mat down. Imagine that this was a floating mat in water, a float that you might lay on and sunbathe in. And you're going to press it down as if you could push that mat below the level of the water. And you press it down so much that your knees hover off. And we're just going to stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, lower your knees down, untuck your toes, round your spine, breathing out. Extend your spine. Remember, it's only 5 counts, so it's some extra core work, but it's going to be good here. Find that relationship between the front of the belly to your back body. Tuck your toes under. Push down first with hands and feet, and then lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, untuck the toes. This time extend your spine, chest forward, tail up, and round your back. Last time, come back into the center, nice long flat back. Tuck those toes, push down to lift up. Here we go, lifting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you pike your hips all the way up to the top here? Lower one heel down to get that nice long calf stretch. And then switch sides. We'll switch again, breathing deep as you go. And then slowly come back down onto your knees. Turn and face me. Take a deep breath in, breathe out. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this put a little more pep in your step. And remember to give to yourself each week through the gift of movement. It will keep you going.